My last serious question, and this is not technical, this is more personal. I saw that you reported in, was it 2016, I believe, the Brussels terror attacks. And so when I saw the video of you just pointing to the station behind you and saying that a bomb just went off there and 20 people just died, my m- my mind said to me, what was going on in your head while you were preparing that report, while you were filing that report? How was it? How emotional was it to cover something like that?
Mate, that was really really difficult for me. So my career, unfortunately, has been hugely advanced by reporting on terror attacks.
Hmm.
It's sort of weird
Yeah.
blood sport that I'm in. My first real huge professional success reporting was the Charlie Hebdo attack in Paris. I was one of the first reporters on the scene there. And it was just wild, and there was 2 million people on the streets. I mean, it was really crazy, and I was on channels,
Yeah.
all over the world reporting on it. And then there was the Brussels. I mean, the Brussels attacks. So Paris attacks, Brussels attacks, Barcelona attacks. Just too many to count now. It's really depressing, and I hate it. But the Brussels attacks is a day I will never ever forget in my life, because this hit my place.
Yeah.
So the two stations are to get into the EU quarter are Schumann and Malbec.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to get off at Malbec to get a nice warm sausage roll in the morning and walk out to the office. It was a bit of a one stop over, but that's where I stopped.
Yeah.
And so I woke up in the morning, like we were talking about earlier, just the phone was just probably I'm going to use a better word than exploding when we're looking at terror attacks.
Yeah.
It was just cool. And I couldn't, the metro had been stopped, whatever. And so I literally, bag on my back, ran. And the office where I used to be is at the top, where you're seeing that. That's just outside the office where I used to work, used to read news. And so it was just like people bloody and stuff walking up that road. It was insane. It was insane for it to be like, because often, like with the Paris attacks, with the Charlie Hebdo or whatever terror attack I've been to, I sort of go there and do my work, and I'm reporting on them. But one of my best mates in Brussels, a guy called Brian, he was on the train, on one of the back carriages. Yeah, and like ran up to my office, and so like this is hitting my people. You know what I mean? This was really, really crazy. It was super emotional. Phone lines were down, so I was like had like a landline phone as well. I was doing live at the time. It's just a day I'll never forget. And then obviously there was a lockdown then as well. Like everyone sort of forced to stay in. It was really interesting. It was really interesting seeing the aftermath of that as well. Being like, I don't really want to go to that event. I don't want to go to that club or that theatre thing, whatever. Everyone just thought everything was going to be bombed for ages. It did feel like it at that time in Europe. Like the terror attacks were thick and fast. They were coming through all the time. It was news sort of there. Just absolutely hate it. I mean, they are fascinating stories, and it's it's a sort of an honour to be on them. But I pray to God I never have to do another terror attack. That's one thing I wish we never have to. It's bizarre because, like I say, they've been great. They've got me on TV channels I never would have, and so there's this weird sort of uncomfortable.
I understand that.
Career support of the death of friends and citizens. It's bizarre, but I mean, I hope I never have to do another one. But unfortunately, I think whatever happens in the world, there probably will be in some sense.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Those grim events, hey?
I do relate quite a bit to what you said. This happens with me. I follow international relations, what's happening in the world quite ardently, because it's a passion of mine. But I'm preparing to be a lawyer or an academic, but I just love uh, learning, talking about international relations, what's going on in the world. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this series. I wanted to talk to the people who I personally like. That's the people I message and ask if you want to come on. The people I personally follow and like. But often my friends point out that it gets a bit too much for them, and they often ask me why I keep going back to the grim news of the world. But to me, it's just something that I do. It's a part of my world in a sense. It's not
Yeah.
disturbing to me as much because of, unfortunately, I've grown a bit used to it, but it's also just that I've developed a sense of being able to take in the negative and not be as affected by it as some might be.
Do you know what, Vikram? Like, for me, certainly, I am quite hard
Hmm.
internally. I mean, from a journalistic point of view, I mean, I can talk
Yeah.
death and decimation until the cows come home. But actually, do you know what? I had a real like. I had 2 summers ago. I was in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Mm-hmm.
I love it too as well, and I can talk about it all, and I don't really get too depressed. To
Yeah.
be honest. But I had a really, really interesting experience where so I'd been to this refugee camp in northern Bosnia,
Mm-hmm.
and I filmed this stuff with these guys from I think they're from Pakistan and Afghanistan and stuff, and they were having a really horrible time in this terrible
Mm-hmm.
refugee camp. Being beaten by the Croatian police, beaten by the Bosnian police. They really wanted the mosque to help them, but the mosque would just like kind of just preach to them and not help
Yeah.
them, and they felt really alone, and they would just and the Christian people would come, and it was just like there was a lot of
Yeah.
like religious infiltration, and it was just like it just and so I interviewed this guy, and I was like, oh, what's going on with you, and who are you? And he was like, he would tell his mum. He was like, I can't tell my mum that I'm in a refugee camp, so I'm telling her I'm in London, and I have a
Mm-hmm.
job in a bar. I can't remember exactly what the story was, um, and like it was grim conditions, mate. I think it's as bad as I've seen human conditions in a refugee camp. But it was terrible. And like, yeah, and also like the night up there, like this guy, they'd been taking people off the bus I was on to go. It was a really, really hardcore thing. And normally I'm fine with it. And then I got to this hotel in Sarajevo, and my mum rang me like on FaceTime,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly got super, super emotional. And it just really, very infrequently does that
Yeah.
news like get to me. And I just thought, imagine if I couldn't tell my mum where I
Mm.
actually was. I just like it just was a really, really, really it hit me hard. I got really upset about it and was very emotional with my mother on the phone. She called me at this time and I was thinking it was really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what sorry, I sort of sparks at that out of nowhere, didn't I? A bit of a personal story.
No, but I understand that.
But
Yeah, I do.
yeah, but it's interesting to relate that
Yeah.
news to ourselves and to give ourselves how fortunate we are. And all of it, I think, what you're talking about international politics, it
Mm.
comes down to those stories. When
Yeah.
you're talking about a refugee crisis, you're talking about a
Yeah.
kid not able to call his mum. When you're talking about a financial crisis, you're talking about someone not being able to go to the
Yeah.
supermarket and losing a job. That's always the important thing.
But that's also part of what the motivation comes from, seeing the stories and wanting to tell them, right?
Yeah,
Especially as
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
mobile journalist.
Yeah, with me as well though, I don't really have like much of a philosophy. Like my philosophy, like I said, is just every story has to be
Mm-hmm.
something different. Like I have to bring something new. That's like challenging
Yeah.
myself. But apart from that, my career and my reporting and things that I report on and the stories I do, I've never been like right to do that. Right,
Yeah.
things just come and I see something and I read something. I don't have much of a plan. I've just sort of gone with the flow of it and found great stories and been lucky enough to tell them.
Perfect. I think that's all that I wanted to ask you. Uh, last thing. Oh yes, last thing. Brexit. Brit living in Brussels. Gotta ask about Brexit.
Yeah, so that's a pain. It basically means that I now, if I wanted to live somewhere else, I have a residency card in Belgium, so I can stay
Ah.
here. But But if I want to move somewhere else, you mean how it affects me personally
Yeah.
as well, or you want my opinions? So it's been a story of repetition and arduous meetings at all hours of the day and night.
Are you glad it's over though?
Is it over?
Are you glad that it's over?
I'm asking you if I'm surprised that you think it's over. I mean, we're a long way to go, yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah, I mean, the agreement's in place. I think the financial services agreements are going to be a huge battle still to come. Yeah, I'm glad it's off the sort of day-to-day ride of the news agenda. I don't think it's given us all a job, right? So as journalists, these sort of stories keep us in our work. There's no doubt about it. But I'm so done with it. I think everyone does.
Everyone is, yeah.
Also, I mean, for me, I'm a real child of the European Union. When I was younger, when I was growing up, my mother would send me on French exchanges, so I'd go to the French family. My French is terrible, but that's the only place I learned from. I did a degree in German, did the Erasmus scheme, learned German, moved to Germany. I've been a sort of child of the EU, definitely. And now I'm not. Now I'm not an EU system, just resident. So there we go. But it's okay. It's all of these things are, it's agreements, it's passports, it's all relatively okay. The world's not collapsing around us.
Perfect. I think we'll end it there. It's been an absolute pleasure, a joy. I have talked to you about topics that I've never talked to anyone about before because I never thought anyone would understand. And so that's it's been fun and it's been therapeutic. And so thank you so much for doing this. I really hope we can have you on again sometime. Maybe with some newer issues, maybe rejoining of the UK into the EU sometime. Let's see. World will keep going on. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me, and keep up the good work. It's nice that you're doing these things, and I really appreciate your support and your kind words.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.